separate from them low vibrational words.
All right. Another thing, one last thing about that whole topic, the idea of like breaking bad habits can also be like, I feel like people don't really realize, because the other side of being of your identity situation is like, people understand when you have to break or trying to start a habit or break a habit, it's a part of reimagining your identity.
100%.
So like, even back to my friend who's talking about the whole, her being a foodie, now she works out actually. Now she's actually a gym person, whatever. And I like, it's funny because now she's like, yo, I'm in the gym and I did this, I'm doing protein shakes. It's like, yo, you had to reshape your whole identity because you thought you being a foodie was the end all be all. Yeah, you can love food, but also you can love working out because it's also good for you and better for you. But it's like, people, I think about, people back to you being late. It's like, I'm being late, but it's cool. But no, but like, you don't have to be attached to that. Like, you can break away from
I'm
shit
gonna
like
give you
that.
some context on what made me realize why I don't want to be late. Because I was having it was a challenge for me to break that. That's a habit that I've had, a not good habit that I've had for a long time. It took for me to realize that we all got the same 24 hours in our day. And it's trillionaires out here. So somehow, some way, they are using their time better than I'm using mine, for the fact that they are able to accumulate, even if they just a multi-millionaire. You know what I mean? They got more going with the same amount of time that I have. So something isn't right. I'm obviously mismanaging my time. And that's what made me start looking at time differently. So it's like, if I show up when I'm supposed to be there, it could be done when it's supposed to be done, and I could go do more shit with my time, so that I'm not just out here wasting all this time and traveling and commutes and explanations and then catching up. And then now, I only really had a 16-hour day when you had a full 24-hour day based on how you allocated your time. So sometimes it be those things of being able to assess what you want and what might be preventing you from getting there. So me being able to attach it to the fact that it's somebody who has the same exact amount of time as me doing more with their time than I'm doing, it was enough for me to be able to say, I got to do right and do better with my time. Another thing about the reward system is
input and output.
If you talking about the foodie concept, it's like, you could love food, but make it a goal to do something in order to reward yourself with that food, right? So it's like, for instance, that I'm in a process of a new purchase, but in order for me to get that new purchase, I set a goal, which is on my goal list, that I have to do this. If I don't do this, I can't have that, because this is going to cover that. So if I get it, then I earned it. But why would I take from what I already have to get it when that's not kind of earning? That's kind of like going into the reserve. When the reality is like, this is a new purchase. Why not create all new energy around it by saying, I got to acquire these new clients to be able to sustain this in order for me to have this, or I didn't work hard enough to get it, or I didn't work smart enough to get it. So now, and that's my philosophy. So the whole reward system concept, it could be used for you or it could be used against you, but people tend to use it against people instead of using it for people. Literally, you could get a kid to do better by saying that. I tell my kids, I give you $10 for every A. But it's like 8 grades. That's a nice 80 piece. I'm gonna give you $5 for every B. Anything other than that, you owe me money. You know what I'm saying? No, but all joking aside, is like that reward system. My daughter just called me, Dad, you're gonna be so proud of me. I got 100 on my test. She know what that means. She knows that means that I'm way more open to the conversation about sneakers. I'm way more open to the conversation about going to your friends on the weekends. But if you come to me with a C or a D, it's like, what are we talking about? You worried about the wrong shit. So that reward system could work in your relationship, because at the end of the day, we humans, we operate in a reward system. Literally, we get judged and graded, and we pay attention to the accolades and the accomplishments. Why not apply that in a healthy way to make you rise to the occasion in your relationship, rise to the occasion as a parent? Like, you should say, all right, if I ain't yell at my kid all week, I could go get myself a pair of shoes. I bet your ass if you did that, you won't yell as much. You have more patience. Oh, damn, if I go to the gym 4 times, I can go ahead and go out on Friday. But if I don't, I can't. When you add that reward system to the end of your goals, it gives you that motivation and that discipline and that consistency to sustain, or you can't do what you want to do. And that's one of the things that Atomic Habits will make you understand when they start talking about habit stacking and all that. They're like, look, man, when you go to do this, do that. When you go to do this, don't try to do a bunch of different things, or just make it simple for yourself and remove it. Don't try to look at the cookies every time you walk in the kitchen. Throw them away or put them in the car. So that way, if you really want them cookies, because
you got to put on your jacket and your shoes.
Like, I don't want them cookies that bad. Like, it's a little cold out there. You know, so sometimes it's about breaking habits by making them more difficult. Like for me, if my game is in my living room, I'm gonna walk past, I'm gonna play it. But if I at least put the controller in another room, I'm like, it ain't that deep. It really just be a proximity thing. It don't even be that deep. It just be like, you know what I'm saying? But
one last thing about the habit stacker thing, gosh, one thing I started doing. So at least I am pretty good with discipline efforts and shit like that. But one thing I've always one thing I've always struggled with is actually struggle.
Cue the music.
Yeah, right.
No pun intended.
You might make fun of me for it, but it's a real thing. vitamins and supplements. I've always felt, like I felt like, I don't know, like the, like black seed oil shit and, just taking the vitamins.
I don't take that shit.
I know I was saying you might make fun of me because like, why you taking vitamins?
Oh, you take them?
Yeah,
I thought you were saying you struggle with taking them. I'm like, why would I judge you for that? I'm not judging you either way because I want to get better with that type of stuff.
Okay, fair. I thought you'd be like, who gives a fuck? But
I mean, yeah, because my thing with supplements is not knowing the powers of them. So
that's always kind of been my thing that kind of blocked me from. I understand they say, I try to take like black seed oil and like some of these like elderberry Jones and zinc and shit like that. I've tried them all, whatever, throughout the years, but because I don't really see like the
Viagra.
The honey vax, because I don't see like the
try them all. Natural supplements.
Yeah, because I don't see like the improvements of like, I'll be like, whatever.
But you don't see the decline either.
Exactly. So
think about it. Look at it like this: we in our 30s. Think of how many men don't look as together as we are. Think of how much, and that'd be the thing. It'd be like, yo, you got to be intentional about taking care of your body. Not even just from
into yourself.
Not even just from a supplement or medical. I'm talking about the gym, all that.
Absolutely.
Like, you ain't just getting easy abs. Like, you got to really get them drawn. Like, next thing you know, you'll be put on that 30 for 30, and now you went from weight 180 to 210, or you went from weight 160 to 190, and you won't look the same. You want to make sure you get that together. Like,
I always say, like, 2 points here. Habits, all about habit stacking. I always try to make a point to go to the gym. If I have any free time, I'm gonna try to squeeze in a gym situation.
He ain't gonna work out, but he gonna go.
Exactly. I'm gonna go stay in the parking lot and then eat some chips. But no, super smart. But like, for instance, when I take my daughter to her dance, she have like a 2-hour practice. Instead of just waiting there in the car or going home, I'll go right to the gym and that's time there. Like versus like just not maximize that time.
Optimization and maximizing.
Exactly. I had to go to my mom crib to help her new shit, whatever. I'm like, Mom, I'm using your gym tonight because I'm here. I'm out fucking East Bubble Folk, whatever. While I'm here, maybe you took away my gym day. So I'm going to the gym while I'm here, whatever. So but it's because it's a priority for me, whatever. Back to vitamin things. I say all to say back to that. I never could keep consistent with it. I do it in morning time, nighttime, whatever. So recently, as soon as I come in the crib before I take a shower, get these fucking vitamins away. And I had to put it in the midst of another habit because I'm already used to coming in the kitchen, drinking something, whatever, eating something, right at the kitchen counter, take my shit, call it a day. And to your point, take care of yourself. Pro tip: collagen pills, black seed oil, and magnesium. I was having trouble sleeping recently. Started taking some magnesium pills.
Out like a baby.
It wasn't like I was out like a baby. I felt more refreshed in the morning. So I felt like I had deeper sleep.
That's how I feel with CMOS.
I used to another thing I used to take. I never was consistent with it, but
that's my thing. So another thing, just before we land the plane. That's the sustainability, but just so you understand the word, just being consistent and being able to. It's like sustainability means that you can lift 10 pounds 100 times with no extra effort, no strain. You can sustain. It's like, all right, I can curl this motherfucker 10 times. It's not sustainable for you to curl 100 times. 100 times or whatever it can be. But if you build that up, then eventually the 100 feels like the 10. But for me, it's like when I started thinking about being able to sustain, I started like being able to sustain paying all my bills on time. So like that's another habit that I'm creating so that even when I think about getting that new purchase, it's like I only want it if I'm willing to pay everything on time. Like when I'm done this, I'm going to pick my phone up and pay something that's due today, as opposed to saying I'll do it in the morning. I'm gonna do because I want to be like, all right, as I start to develop my habit of paying things when I add more to my plate. Because when we talked a few months ago, when you were like, why don't you just wait and see? And I was like, I don't like that advice. But I told you later, I was like, it came from when I see it in a different light, I realized I wouldn't have been responsible enough at that time. That might have not been your angle, but it still landed there because I realized like, I have to get all of these responsibilities in order because making a lot of money can make you irresponsible. Absolutely. It can make you feel like I pay that. That's how I pay. I pay that shit. When you got the money, you be like, I pay that shit. You're not really fucking penny pinching because you know you're gonna pay it. And it's not good when you come from not having the money and having that habit to having the money and still having that habit. So I said before I start to continue this life of luxury and add more to my plate, let me learn how to pay everything on time month after month after month after month so that when that just becomes additive as the income increase, as the wealth increase, the expenses is just adding to the habit of paying. It's just one more thing to pay versus it being like, all right, I don't even know what date stuff is due.
Hey, yo.
I don't even know. But it always be the little shit. I pay my subscriptions on time. Like everything get paid on shit. Like, I turn my shit on auto pay. I don't like when I wake up and they draft it. Because who told y'all to take it at 3 a.m.? Like, you could have did it in the daytime. You want me to wake up and
be civilized.
Be a little civilized. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, like that was a little thing that develop and grow on. So, you know, that came from me realizing like, all right, in order for me to have these purchases, I got to become a person that can sustain these purchases. You know, I don't want to be the nigga that's just always falling behind on stuff.
Never catch up. Pro tip, I always say be proactive with your bills. Like, it never should be like, it's the first again. Let's do again. I didn't pay that. I didn't finish that last time. It carried over. Write all your bills out, how much you know everything you spend in that month, whatever. So by the time you get to the end of the month, you know what I mean? I pay every 2 weeks, whatever.
You pay shit,
I pay shit early.
Months in advance.
Yeah, so it's like
no bullshit.
But, you know,
I had to tell them to stop sending me that shit early. You fucking with my shit. Like, you fucking with my man.
Right. So it's like, you know, I think that'll just, of course, if you don't make enough money, that's a whole other thing you got to figure out, whatever, or cut shit down, whatever. But in the day, you should at least know how much your bills are, and it shouldn't be a fucking surprise to you every time bills are due. Like, oh shit, damn.
I look forward to paying bills.
Me too. It's off my mind. Like,
not that too, but to add to what you're saying, more so, I understand the value exchange. So people be like, I don't feel like paying this, but you like the benefits that come with it. I like having a nice place, so I like paying for that place. I like being able to call out, so I like paying my phone bill. I didn't always have this mindset. I developed it, and it took the disdain away from it. So when the bills come up, I understand that if I wanted to go to a concert or to see a movie or to see a basketball sporting event, I got to pay admission. What's the difference? It's like, yes, it's a recurring thing, but if that's what it takes to have access to what you have access to, pay the shit recurringly. Like, I want access to my door being open when I put the fucking key to it. I want it to open, so I'm gonna pay the access to have it. I want my phone to work when I'm dialing out, so I'm gonna pay the access to have it. I want to be able to have the security or the freedom to kick my feet up in my spot, walk around how I want to walk around, make my own rules, and that costs to do. People want the perks of it, but then want to, I don't feel like paying this car, no. But you love driving your car to work. And if you tired of the car, switch it.
Can't afford it, bro.
Switch it. Do something. It's always a way.
Yeah.
If you really tired of your car and paying it, because I don't believe in, this is the last thing I'm going to say, right? I don't believe in struggling for a life you don't love. Like, you live in if you're going to struggle with the shit you want. If you're going to struggle. Like, you feel me? And it's like, well, I can't afford the shit I want to struggle for. Then work a little harder till that's your struggle.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, if you want a Benz and that's the car you've been dreaming about, but you sitting here driving a Ford and you mad that you paying $327 a month, get your credit to a point where the Benz $327 a month. Do the work. And you can have your life look how you wanted to look for the same price that you're paying now. You feel me? You might can't go get you a $900 mortgage if you live in you couldn't get a mortgage, but it won't be a mansion. If you live in a one-bedroom apartment. But the fact of the matter is, if you're struggling to pay the $900, you might as well, and you know that you don't want to live in that type of situation, work harder, and then struggle to pay $1,800. You already struggling, you feel me? But ultimately, I would say don't struggle. But I'm saying at least love what you struggling to pay. The reason it was easy for me to get rid of my house, because I'm like, I'm paying all this bread. I don't even this ain't even my dream. I'm getting rid of this John. Fuck that. Let me go ahead and get what I want. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like, even on them days where you don't feel like it, you do it because ultimately you love it.
That's what you want, yeah.
Same thing when you're dealing with a partner. Ultimately, the days where you want to give up, you deal with it because you're like, this is what I wanted. Super last thing I'm gonna say. I really be reminding myself, like, when I'm dating, like, even if I'm in a relationship, when I'm in a relationship, I don't let myself get comfortable and forget that I wanted this girl at a point in time. Like, even if I'm just dating, like, when I'm dating, it's like, I don't get tired of having sex with her, because I remind myself I remember when I wanted to. And as long as I stay in that mind frame, I remember when I desired you. As long as you don't do something to disrespect me, demean me, degrade me, or something that would make me look at you differently and take that desire away, I can sustain that desire. Like, literally, like, my last relationship taught me two things. It taught me that I was capable of committing, because I had no desire to step out, no desire at all. I literally was desiring her and her only, and I was proud of myself, even if whatever, no matter what, that physical attraction, that desire was there. And the other part of it was showing me, like, all right, cool, I need to get myself together more, because I know what type of man I am. And the togetherness ain't in the ability to commit. I proved that. It was in me realizing I need to get my credit where it need to be. I need to get my cash flow where it need to be. I need to get my wealth where it need to be for me to be able to sustain a life that I want to provide for my family. Those are the two lessons I learned. One told me that I need to turn it up over here, and the other one told me that, oh, you actually can commit. You actually can be capable of just messing with one woman and not having your eyes all over the place. Even if I see an ass or two, I never denied that. I'm still a man. I'm looking.
Absolutely.
But I ain't going to do nothing. I ain't going to touch. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, those are the two things that I learned. And it really just came down to